I made a video talking about the rising number of cases of HIV in the United States, and the comments are ridiculous. The comments just reminded me that in this country, people do not take accountability for their actions anymore. There was a few people that were suggesting that everybody should just get on PrEP. Now, if you are like me and you do not know what PrEP is a drug that stops you from getting HIV if you have been exposed or if you're going to be exposed by stopping the virus from just like duplicating or whatever. Something along those lines. Do not quote me. I am not a medical journal. Go read it for yourself. But that's the gist of what I read. That said, it brings me to this point. Americans need to stop drugging themselves for every single little issue that we have, okay? A lot of the problems that we have as a country, we can easily fix by just changing our lifestyle or making better choices. Because, believe it or not, choosing to not engage in this kind of activities is still a choice for most people. Yes, I know some people are trafficked, some people don't have a choice. But for most of you guys, it's a choice. So don't do it. Next point that was really frustrating to read was people trying to normalize HIV as if it is just like a cold or something. There were people.
Hold on, before she continues, I agree 1000% with the whole not drugging ourselves as much. Stop resorting simply to just popping a bunch of pharmaceuticals and actually make some lifestyle changes instead. I agree with that 1000% because a lot of the stuff that is going on is due to a sedentary life. I mean, you don't even have to have a gym membership because I know gym memberships can be expensive or gym equipment can be very expensive. Just go for a walk. Go for a walk. I mean, simple. It ain't got to be anything crazy. Or go for a run if you're in okay shape. Go for a jog, right? But then also watch what you put on that plate in the kitchen. You know, a lot of these things can be resolved by simply those two things. I'm not saying those will resolve everything, okay? Of course not. I'm not a medical expert, duh. All right, always consult with your doctor. I'm no professional. But, you know, I think a lot of things in life are common sense, you know, at least in my humble opinion. Just common sense. Eat better, move your body a little bit more, you know? But who am I? I'm just the guy that talks on the internet from time to time.
People, I kid you not, saying most of you guys, it's a choice. So don't do it. Next point that was really frustrating to read was people trying to normalize HIV as if it is just like a cold or something. There were people, I kid you not, saying things like, well, it is not the death sentence it used to be. You can now live happy life with HIV. And it sounds to me like you have access to healthcare, which is fantastic, but a lot of people do not. If you do not have access to healthcare, it is still a death sentence. And even if you have access, why would anybody want to live a life where they're constantly on medication or getting tested or just having to live their life in the hospital or going in to be seen? Why would anybody want that when you can just...
Well, that's what I was going to get to. First off, who doesn't have access to healthcare? I mean, literally, hospitals cannot deny you if you walk into the emergency room, if I remember correctly. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Now... That's obviously not seeing a primary care physician. I understand that, blah, blah, blah. But we have programs to assist people that don't have health insurance or like, I'm confused. Like, what is she talking about here? But then also, yes, we do have to stop. And I've seen this 1,000 times, bro. And it makes me sick every single time because it's not just this. People are trying to normalize everything. Everything. I can't tell you how many times I've seen, oh, let's normalize X, or let's normalize this, or let's normalize that. Let's normalize this. No, everything does not need to be normalized. Somebody being 500 pounds does not need to be normalized. That's not normal. Okay? It's not normal. Stop trying to normalize every single thing. It's just ridiculous. And they do it all in the name of love and positivity. What? Since when does normalizing HIV a great thing? How is that love? How is that positivity? Love and positivity would be telling people, hey, keep your dick in your pants or keep your legs closed. That's love. It's telling someone what they need to hear and not what they want to hear. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. You know, this is absolutely ridiculous, and it makes me sick every time I see that kind of mess. Let's normalize this, normalize that. No, we're not normalizing any of it. It's not normal for a reason. My goodness. My goodness. I'm sick of these folks, man.
Hospital or going in to be seen. Why would anybody want that when you can just avoid it altogether by making better lifestyle choices? And then there were some people that were trying to make it sound like everybody got HIV just by like accident or something. Like you're just walking around the park and somebody coughed on you and you got HIV. You know damn well that is not how you got it. You know damn well that is not how people get HIV. Yes, are there some situations in which people get it by accidental prickings or accidental exposure by like blood transfusions? I don't know. And I mean, the US, that's unheard of because we test our blood now. But yes, there are some situations in which you can get HIV and it's not due to sexual behavior. However, that is not what's happening here. We know damn well what's happening here. What's happening here is that our culture engages in risky behavior. I'm adding this on here because I know that somebody's going to come on here and say like, well, what about cheating spouses? What about cheating partners? Blah, blah, blah. Yes, this is true. You can become infected if your partner is out there living a risky life and not disclosing it with you. In those situations, that's really shitty. And that sucks because at the end of the day, like there's one person who's innocent and one person who's very guilty. And that sucks for the person that's innocent. There's still choices here and your partner can choose to not do that to you. So be very, very wise in who you choose as a partner, who to sleep with. And yes, I know that even then some people still make terrible choices and they choose to betray their loved one, and that sucks. And I don't have an answer for that. So I say all of that to say this again, like my first video, you can avoid this, okay? Please be careful, get tested. If you are still going to participate in this kind of activities, at the very least, test yourself, use protection, and just be careful because you don't want to get sick. And I am saying this as a fellow American who wants you to live long, happy lives, and I want you guys to be healthy. Why is that such a bad message? It's really not. So just take care of yourself, please.
No, it's a good message, but people don't want to be held accountable. People don't want to be held accountable to their own actions. I want to read this comment section, see what they're saying, because we live in a society that thinks they should be able to do whatever they want without having. Yeah, that's literally exactly what I just said. The first comment on this thing literally says, because we live in a society that thinks they should be able to do whatever they want without having consequences for our actions. That's facts. That's facts. This is scary how how they called just like flu. Huh? What? That is typed wrong. How about recriminalizing certain practices? Yeah, I think they were trying to silence you because most of the video is glitching. Sadly, people don't understand what it is to actually live. Anyway, yeah, these comments looking pretty decent, man. These comments looking pretty decent. I am not too disappointed in this comment section right here, because sometimes when you get some of these types of videos, the comment sections are just like, whoa, people have really gone off the deep end, boy. I tell you, you know. But hey, this comment section, they saying the right thing. So it boils down to this: keep your legs closed and keep your Johnson in your pants. And when you decide that you found the right person, go get tested. Go get tested. You ain't gotta ask no questions, right? And wonder whether they're telling you the truth or not. Just go get tested. Simple. And if they start making up a bunch of excuses as to why they haven't gone and got tested yet, that's your red flag. And take that red flag and you run like Usain Bolt away from that person. Okay, you run faster than Usain Bolt away from that person because they're making up a bunch of excuses for a reason. I had a business trip, or I had this appointment or that appointment. It doesn't take long to get tested. Okay, you can't make up that many darn excuses for not getting tested. So if they do, you know to go. But it also is, some sad situations out here, like what I talked about yesterday with the guy whose friend slept with a chick who intentionally gave him HIV. It is sad, but at the same time, you chose to just drop dick and balls, in the chick with no protection. And even if you did have protection, you chose to live that lifestyle. There's certain things that come with it. You know, there's certain things that come with certain lifestyles. You want to be a gangster, you want to be tough, you want to be cool out in the streets, get you some money. While there's certain things that come with it. Death or jail. You want to be out here clapping all types of cheeks, bending it over, busting them down, doing the whole thing. Like, hey, face down, booty up, you know what I'm saying? Hey, there's certain things that come with it. And an incurable disease is one of them. It's the life you chose. That's the life you chose. There's trade-offs. There's trade-offs all over the place in life. Yeah, you can have a good old jolly old time clapping them cheeks. A good old time clapping some cheeks. But you could also be stuck with something for the rest of your life. Is it worth it? I would say no. But you got to answer that one for yourself. Stay safe out there, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your legs closed. It's a lot of crazy stuff getting spread around here. All right? Peace.